So over the past 10 years, I have been studying how to become rich. And I'm excited to say that I've achieved that goal. I've made tens of millions of dollars. I'm 32 years old. And it all comes down to one simple lesson that I learned, and I want to share it with you inside of this video. If you want to be successful or make money in any area of your life, then you have to understand how to get other people to do what you want them to do. Not in a manipulative way, but in a way that is a win-win situation. Whether it's dating, you need to go out and be able to attract a partner and get them to say yes to you to go on that date. You need to get them to say yes to you to go on another date. You need to get them to say yes to you to move into your house, to marry you. If you want to avoid taxes, you need to understand how the government allows you to do that. And it's all based on this concept. If you want to make money, you need to get other people to pay you money. So how do you get someone to pay you money? How do you hire a team? How do you get them to carry out the tasks that you want them to do in a way where they're motivated, they're fulfilled, they're excited, they have purpose, and they perform at a high level? It all comes down to one thing, and that one thing is incentives. Incentives are a predictor of future behavior. And if you understand this concept, I promise you, you're going to be able to be so much more successful in whatever it is that you do in your life. Does not matter. This is relevant to everything. This is how the world operates. And the truth is, there's a game that's actually being played around you all the time because there's incentives everywhere, all over the place. And your behavior on a day-to-day basis is dictated by all of the incentives that are around you. And if you don't understand incentives, then you don't understand the game, and you don't understand how you're being persuaded and influenced every second of every day, your entire life. So I want to give you some examples of what incentives actually look like. And then I want to talk about how you can use them in your own life, your personal life, your business, to start getting more of what you want. So the government creates incentives, both negative and positive incentives. A negative incentive would be created to dissuade you from doing certain actions. So the government has created a legal system, a law system, where there are negative incentives. A negative incentive is when you take something away from somebody and it costs them something. So the government will take away your freedom. They will take away your money. They will take away your time. They will take away your life, essentially, if you steal, if you kill another person, and if you break the law. And so that is a negative incentive. So what happens is people don't do those things because there is a cost associated with doing them and there is no reward. And that's how people dictate their behavior. They do things based on how much cost there is and how much reward there is. So if there's a high cost to doing something and there's little to no reward, people don't tend to do that. But if there is a high reward and little to no cost, people will almost always do that. If I drop $100 on the ground and walk away and you never see me again, you're going to pick up that $100 because there's no cost associated with it and there's a high reward. And so that's an incentive. If I drop $100 on the ground and walk away, I can 100% guarantee that if you see that money, I can predict your behavior. I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to pick up that money. And so this is how people and governments and organizations predict people's behavior and motivate them to take the actions that they actually want them to take. And so governments not only create negative incentives, they also create positive incentives. And the way that they create positive incentives is in the form of tax breaks and tax incentives. They're literally called tax incentives. So the actual tax code is not like a legal system. It is a giant document of incentives. The government uses this to get people to do what they want them to do. It's essentially herding sheep. They say, don't do these things. And if you do these things, we'll give you a little bit of a reward. And if you look at what happens in the United States or really in any country, people just do that. How many people are involved in real estate that are trying to get wealthy? Why are they involved in real estate? Why is real estate a thing that so many people are interested in? It's not because real estate is interesting. It's because real estate has tax incentives. People get into real estate and they realize they could pay a little bit less in taxes or maybe even avoid taxes altogether, and that they're outsmarting the government. Actually, you're not outsmarting the government. The government is actually incentivizing you to do that. They want you to do that. They want you to build homes. They want you to build buildings. They are literally in the tax code incentivizing you with tax breaks so that you do that. So it's not a tax loophole. They created that incentive to motivate you to build in the United States. They want you to build homes. They also want you to start businesses. They also want you to spend money. They also want you to get married. They want you to do all of these things because they stimulate the economy and they make for a better country. So what they do is they give you a little bit of an incentive. Hey, if you do these things for us, we'll pay you a little bit less. You'll have to pay a little bit less in taxes. And so people fall in line. They all get married. They all get into real estate. They all become entrepreneurs if they want those incentives. That's how the government motivates you to do what they want you to do and dissuade you from not doing the things that they don't want you to do. So that's one example of an incentive. Another example of an incentive is dating. If you're dating someone and you're extremely attractive physically, then there is an immediate perceived incentive and immediate perceived reward. If you're really ugly and unattractive and super overweight and you're approaching someone and trying to get them to go on a date with you at a coffee shop, then there is basically a negative incentive. They think, this person's talking to me, I don't find them physically attractive, so right away, I'm not interested. Or maybe you go up to them and you start acting weird. They feel uncomfortable. That's a negative incentive. They don't like that. People are going to move away from that because they don't perceive a reward, but they do perceive a cost. And so the key to attracting a partner, going on dates, all these different things is actually just to create a reward without a lot of cost. So if you walk up to someone and you're attractive or you're really funny or you're really charismatic and they like how it feels to be in your presence, then they're going to move closer to that. If they don't perceive any cost associated with the reward that you're giving them, then they're probably just going to stay with you. And that's how people go on dates. That's how relationships develop. There's always more reward than there is cost. And so that's how incentives work in a relationship. Now, when it comes to using incentives yourself, one of the easiest areas to use incentives is when it comes to making money. And I wish I understood this earlier. I have definitely heard it. Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's business partner, always said, tell me the incentive and I'll tell you what people are going to do. And I learned about that quote a really long time ago, but I never really understood it until I had a team. And so in our company, Smart Coach, we are a business coaching company. We help other entrepreneurs start and grow their business, and we have about 20 people working for us. And I've hired a lot of people. Now, when it comes to hiring people, you have to ask the question, why would anybody want to work for me? Why would anybody want to work for me? Because there's plenty of other companies they could work for. Maybe they could work for another company and get paid more. So what is the incentive to work for us? Well, the incentive that we've created is we have a really fun team energy. So when people are at work, they really like being at work. They really like doing the work. It's really fun for them to do their work. That's a great incentive for people to want to work with us and stay working with us in the company, because if they leave our company and go to another company and work, they're not going to have as much fun, which is a cost to them. So they don't leave our company. They stay with our company. They keep working with us. Then it comes down to pay. Pay is the most obvious incentive. No one's going to work with you for free, so you have to pay them money. But how much money? How do you structure the money so that it's incentivized for them? For example, it wouldn't be a very good incentive structure for me to pay someone hourly, because let's dissect this. What is the incentive if I paid you $40 an hour to work for me? Well, the incentive for you is actually to put in as little effort as possible, show up for all of the hours, get paid $40 an hour, and then regardless of how well you perform or the output of your work, you get paid $40 per hour, because I'm not paying you based on your effort. I'm paying you based on your time. And time is not valuable. Effort and output are actually what provides value to a company. And so when we hire people, we don't pay them hourly at our company, because actually, if I pay them hourly, our incentives are not aligned. And that's a really important key if you want to motivate a team and get them to do the things that you want them to do, and also do the things that are best for them to do. So it's not a one-way thing, it's a two-way street. You have to do what's best for both people. Then you want to have the same incentive. So what I want from our team is I want a lot of performance. I want as much output as possible. I want the best results possible. I want to close as many sales as possible. I want to get as many clients' results as possible. And that requires effort. And so if I'm incentivizing that, it's not paying them by the hour, because if I'm paying them by the hour, They're just getting paid if they show up and sit around, right? And so how do I pay them to go above and beyond and take the extra measures to get people results and close as many sales as possible? One way to do it would be to pay them on commission. So with our salespeople in our company, we don't pay them hourly. We pay them based on how many sales they make. If they don't make any sales, they don't get paid. That's a cost. There's a cost to not making sales. And so when they don't make sales, they don't like that. And when they do make sales, they make a lot of money because they get a percentage of the sales that they make. And when they make sales, I make sales. And so when we both are doing the same thing, we both want the same thing. We both want more sales. Everyone in our company, their pay is structured so that when our company makes more money, they actually make more money. And there's no ceiling on that. They just keep making more money. We keep making more money. We all grow together versus the company goes from making $100,000 a month to $1 million a month, and everyone's still getting paid the same amount of money hourly. That doesn't feel good to the team. They don't want the company to grow. If I pay you and you're on my staff and you work for me, and we both make more money, the more money that the company makes, then everyone's aligned to the same mission and everybody actually wants the same mission because everyone has the exact same incentives. When it comes to actually making money with a business is all about getting customers to pay you. So how do you get customers to actually pay you money? The way you do it is by providing them with an offer. And that offer needs to have very low cost, very low risk, and super high reward. And so if you have an offer that says, I will get you clients 100% guaranteed, or I'll give you all your money back, there's like no risk in doing that. The only risk is your time, and there's huge upside potential. There's like tons of reward for a person to do that. It basically seems like there's all reward and no risk. And so a person with an offer like that is probably going to make a bunch of money if they're able to get those people results. Because if you don't get them results, obviously you're going to have to give them all their money back. So that's the risk for you. You take on the risk for them. The customer doesn't have any risk. And so when you're creating offers for anyone in your business, that's the formula. That's the formula. That's how you get people to say yes to you, is you present them with a reward where there's very little to no risk. And if you can do that, similar to dropping $100 on the ground and walking away, they're going to pick it up and they're just going to fall in line with that behavior and they're going to do exactly what you want. So if you want people to do what you want them to do, then you need to create an incentive structure for them to do that has super high reward and very little cost or risk associated with it, or at least perceived cost and risk, right? Because if someone's paying you money and you guarantee to get them clients, it seems like there's no risk, but there actually is some risk, but they might view it as very little to no risk. And so that is how you are going to be able to make more money. That is how you're going to be able to pay a team. That is how you're going to be able to get people to go on a date with you. That is how you're going to be able to pay lower taxes. It all has to do with incentives. This is the big game that's being played. The government's playing this game. Corporations are playing this game. Everyone's playing this game. And I think it's time for you to get in on this game and start understanding what really motivates people's behavior. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just wanted to share a little thing that I learned about really how to get more of what you want in life. I'll see you in another video.